Duncan on Donnie, the podcast with Zen Zero and Ty.
Bye.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is Duncan on Donnie with Zen Zero.
Thai Style. This is episode number 4 that we're doing. And there's a lot to talk about this week.
Indeed. We have Degenerate Donnie coming out as El Jesus.
Oh,
Savior
the Jesus.
Christ.
Ridiculous.
Well, that's one of the ridiculous things.
The thing that I find the most ridiculous is the situation that's happening with his wife, with Melania Trump.
Wife in name only, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, with the woman he's married to. I think that it's starting to come forward that she was more involved with Epstein and the whole scene there more than people thought.
I would say that then she is let on. I think people already have had the idea that they were deeply involved with them one way or the other, mainly due to all the pictures. It's undeniable that they have had connection. She's trying to play it off that they only ran into each other and high society parties and stuff, but like there's a plethora of photos of them together, and specifically the ones with Trump and Epstein. But
there's this new accusation from this woman now.
I know, it's her best friend. It's her friend for 20 years.
Exactly.
That, if you have not heard, she was married to a guy.
One of Trump's friends, yeah.
Well, he's involved with Trump still.
Yeah, he's an ambassador to somewhere or the other now.
Yeah.
Which is shady. I mean, the whole shit that kicked it off was the fact that they were having a custody battle. She got custody of the child. He wanted to have the child back, so he called ICE on her. Mm-hmm. Because of something that supposedly happened from some
I believe she's a Spanish
case.
Woman.
She's Brazilian.
She's Brazilian.
Yeah. Yeah, so now she's in Brazil. First she was in custody in ICE for 3 months. Mm. And I mean, if you know the president and the first lady of the United States, you would think that you would be, even if you had committed a crime, especially with this fucking corrupt administration, that they would help you out somehow.
Yeah, 100%. He's pardoned a good amount of
1,500 fucking insurrectionists.
That too, but he's pardoned a lot of people who've committed fraud, who've committed serious crimes.
There you go.
And then he's pardoned them and gone after other people who've committed fraud.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's crazy that
yeah, but back to explaining. So he called ICE on her. She got detained.
Yep.
And she called Melania for help.
She managed to get a phone call out.
That's as far as I understand.
Okay.
She reached out to Melania, and Melania declined to do anything, which is what has now spurred the unholy rage of her posting minimum of 2 tweets. One of them outright talks about her and her pedophile husband, who we all know as chief and pedophile.
Yeah, she called him a pedophile.
She called him a pedophile, and then in the next tweet she said, "I am going to do everything I can in my power to burn this down." So she's coming out scorched earth.
I mean, there are accusations that Melania was down with the whole sex trafficking thing. I mean,
well, so this is where it gets interesting.
There's an interview where Epstein saying that he slept with her before.
Mm-hmm, exactly, and that's why this woman now coming forth is one of the interesting ones, because she has been on the Lolita Express and she has had connections with Epstein. Because
supposedly they flew her in from France when she was 15.
Something to that, effect. And the guy that she had been married to he was running a model agency.
Yeah, he was like 30 something when they flew her in. She was 15, he was 30 something, and they end up getting married or not married. They end up having an affair or some kind of relationship some years later, and they have a child together. I don't know if they were ever married over this time, but yeah. So he claims that nothing happened with them until she was 19. But she's saying that he was after her since she was 15.
Yeah.
Whether or not they had any kind of relations, I'm not quite sure if they did at 15. But she claims that he was after her from the time she was 15. These people are fucking sick, bro.
Again, I don't know if you noticed when they dropped the files, there's 3 million files. They dropped 1.5 million of them, refused to drop a bunch. And in the ones they dropped that people have had access to, files I've seen, there's information in there and it's very incriminating. And some things talking about Trump and underage girls. And then those files were removed from the web and scrubbed. And this is another reason why people are saying that you promised us the entire Epstein files. Why aren't you releasing them? And since they accidentally, I don't know why they put this out, but they put out a lot of information that people actually went and read. There's references to these specific...
That's why.
I'm not arguing with you about that, but the fact of the matter is that this happened, enough people have seen it, and so if you start looking in social media what people are talking about based on those files that they've seen, what we have been saying is child's play compared to what not the consensus, but a lot of people have made up their minds about what has happened on that island, and murder is one of the least problematic issues.
I didn't see any, as far as I understand it, there's no proof of any murder. There's accusations and insinuations, but there's no documentation.
That documentation is in the files that they have refused to release.
Well, maybe that's the thing. No one knows what's in there yet.
Well, the people do know because they did leave they gave the unredacted files to Congress, and Congress.
I haven't seen any Congress people making accusations of murder.
They have been. There's a Ted Lieu is his name.
Ted Lieu, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if he specifically was talking about murder.
I've been paying close attention. I don't remember any Congress people talking about murder. But either way, even if they haven't killed people, to me, I keep saying the same thing. To me, I could understand someone killing someone more than I could understand someone raping someone.
So I'll just tell you this thing, because we'll have to look this up. There's a file claiming that Trump had sex with an underage girl, got her pregnant, and that the uncle of that girl took that kid and killed the kid in front of her with Trump as a witness and threw the kid into one of the lakes.
Okay,
and
that's this is super deep. Here's the infographic on that one, because that's a very, very, very fucking
This is one of the
extreme.
things that people online are talking about.
But
online. A lot. No, well, again, this is what I saw were files that were claimed to be in the Epstein files. This is one of the things that got slipped out and then got redacted. Okay. So what I saw were files talking about this, and then I can't verify because I didn't go up online to that page, but people have done that, and they've referenced.
This is the age of AI, bro. Everything, you gotta double check everything.
I'm not saying anything. What I'm telling you, if you listen, is these are the things that are being talked about online, on
people
social media. I'm telling you factual
people
that these
that
are what people are talking about. So
hold on. You saying that it's factual.
But it's factual is that people are talking about this.
That doesn't make it a fact.
I didn't say that.
Yes.
You are misconstruing what I'm saying. I was merely telling you.
But you're repeating something that you haven't verified.
That doesn't matter. We are talking about what is going on in the online community and how people are viewing this specific situation.
But we can't be just spreading misinformation,
we
bro.
Aren't spreading misinformation. We're
bringing repeating something that hasn't been verified.
This is something that the online community is talking about.
That's like when Trump says people are saying.
No. The difference is there's multiple videos of people talking about this. If you can't acknowledge, if you cannot acknowledge that this is something that is out in the online community, which has made people look at the administration. And again, like people are talking about that these people are eating babies based on what they have got into their heads. So if you cannot discuss that this is a fact that this is happening right now.
No, this is the fact that people are saying it.
That's what I'm talking about. And you keep misconstruing that to us talking about that as a fact.
I know that you're saying that people are saying it.
So let's talk about this and the ramifications.
I'm not going to discuss something that people online are saying. That to me is like, people say the earth is flat online. People saying we haven't been to the moon online. That doesn't mean that it's true. I'm not going to sit here and discuss flat Earth because it's not relevant.
Well, it needs to be brought out that this is a large part of the people
A large part.
Large
How
part
many
of the
people?
people. I don't know
It's
details.
important for you to think that.
This is a lot of reasons why the MAGA community is leaving Trump because of all of these insinuations and accusations that have come forth.
But we're not MAGA. We're not those people that just going to follow things just because people are saying.
We're talking about the fact that these things are occurring right now.
And people are saying they're occurring.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But
Well,
these things are occurring. They are
people
talking
are
about
saying
it.
that.
What they're saying, we don't know if that has occurred. But the
Exactly.
fact that they are talking about it is 100% fact.
Yeah. People are saying that. That goes without saying. But we're not going to get. At least I'm not going to go ahead and repeat that. I'm not going to say like someone said that Trump killed a baby and blah 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 blah. People can make up shit, especially when it's something that's specifically redacted. Which is why I think they need to release these files. If they release the files, then everyone can say, okay, this part of it is true, and that part is not true. But when you leave these open holes and everything, then anybody can make up anything, and all of a sudden, this is the reality.
This is, again, based on files that were released in the Epstein files that then were removed from the online database.
Anybody could say these from here because we don't know exactly 100% of what's there.
But you are going to put in the infographic
Yeah.
if we can find the reference to those specific documents. Because each document that has been online in that database had a specific reference
It's supposed
number.
to be numbers, yeah.
Yeah. So we can look up what they are talking about and see if there is any reference to these numbers. And if there are, we can put them up, which is what I was trying to get to till you tiraded about we
No, it's
can't
not-
talk about it.
No, it's not. It's not.
You see, there are always
Look,
reasons.
we can't be a part of the problem. You know what I mean? A part of what I think is wrong with the internet right now is that some fool in the corner over there starts talking about, like, for example, Pizzagate or some fucking crazy shit. And then all of a sudden another person picks it up, another person picks it up. And just the fact that people are saying it gives it relevance, gives it traction. You know what I mean? If the first person that heard this idiot say it would have been like, hey, let me even check if this place has a basement, for example, that would have been squashed. But people don't do that. We just repeat things over and over again, and that's not healthy.
Well,
I
the
think that's a
difference
part of the
here
problem,
is,
bro.
again, that these things are based on what people have seen with their own eyes.
According to them.
Well, you can't. No, the fact of the matter is this happened. A bunch of files came out that were then removed
Yes.
from online. These
And we
are
don't know what are
facts.
in those files. So right now,
No, but
I could say that Trump
what
has sex
we are
with
talking
aliens.
about are people.
And it's in the Epstein files.
We are talking about people that read these files,
I could say
and
I
that
read them
now
too.
are really mad because they did read these files, and now they're
people.
gone.
Congress people.
Not some Congress people. These documents, you have to understand, were available online when these people that are talking about it online
Yes.
read them.
Yes.
The people who have
said that they read them.
said that they read
Okay,
them.
there we
The
go.
people who do have unredacted access right now are Congress people.
Yes, and they have not said that. The people that we know
To
have
our
unex-
knowledge, they haven't come out and,
and said
accused
exactly
him of murder.
in particular.
No.
No, he hasn't. So the people who we can liably say or reasonably say have access to this unredacted information have not made these accusations. A person who says, "Oh, I read this online and now it's gone," I'm sorry, but magic beans.
I want to contact Ian Carroll because he made an AI bot. I forget its name.
Yeah, you should do that. That way we can use his AI for our info.
Well, anybody can. He gave it out for free, which is
Okay.
another reason why these people.
It's the Epstein AI.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what he did was he made this,
Oh my God.
this epic Epstein AI
Wow.
that has gone through all the files that were available online.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask him. I did ask him on one of the videos he posted, but I didn't get a response. Like, do you have access to all of those files that were released and then got pulled?
We should invite him on the show.
Yeah, I'll see if I can reach out.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, I'm trying to be as cautious about these things as possible. That's why we have all this stuff, this fact checks on the side and stuff. Because, like Trump does this all the fucking time. Well, people are saying, all
No, but
these
this
people
is-
are
this is
talking
the thing.
about. Well, down in this area, people are saying this. Bruh, anybody could say people are saying. The fact that I had a girlfriend who used to do that shit all the time.
Uh-huh.
I'm not the only one that thinks that. I'm like, what the fuck? first of all, that shows weakness, because to me it says that if me and you are having a conversation, you having this thought, you standing on your own 2 feet isn't enough. You feel like you need to bring other people in. You know what I mean? So I think that's what they do when they're trying to, how do you say, muddy the waters. They're trying to fucking create like controversy. They're trying to create things when it's not. They say, well, other people are saying this also. It's kind of like, maybe I'm a little bit traumatized from my relationship.
You definitely 100% traumatized, motherfucker. No, because this is the same thing with some of the infographics that we put out. They weren't exactly what, if you look into it, 100% accurate either. So I mean,
we have to go with the general information.
The generalization of certain things.
I go with climate change again. Climate change, we all understand that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that looks at the science can see the fucking hockey puck, how from the Industrial Revolution, how the fucking emissions of CO2 has gone up dramatically, and how the hottest years on record have been within that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's easy for anybody who's looking at it in good faith to agree with it. But still, there's, 2 or 3% of scientists, who knows if those are the guys that are paid off by the oil companies or not, but there's 2 or 3% of the people that say that it's not like that. Well, I'm not going to fuck with those 2%.
Well, this is the thing that I don't remember if we touched on the episode that got fried, but it was the same thing. Unfortunately, even though that what you're saying is correct, unfortunately, there came out that some of the predictions that had been made weren't reached. And so some data was fudged to show those conclusions, to put more evidence towards those conclusions, instead of just saying, all right, the predictions didn't meet to what we calculated. That doesn't mean that it's untrue. But same thing there, since unfortunately...
Okay, now when you say this now, how many studies was this data fudged on?
I honestly don't know. We have to look that up.
You see what I'm saying? Then now you're bringing this, muddying the waters again. You're saying that the data was fudged. On one study, how much was that study? No, don't look it up now. It's gonna have quiet air.
All right. We'll find out, dear viewers.
No, but I think it's important. Like, if you're gonna say something like that, you have to have the data already in hand. You have to be like, okay, the biggest research project that was ever looked into in climate change, it's been proven that was fudged. You know what? I gotta close this window. 1 second. There's way too much noise coming from the back here.
Yeah. No, I hear you, but that is also why we need to start looking things up while we're in the show, because it's hard. But I'm just saying it's hard. It's hard because we discuss things that randomly move from space to space, or place to place, and having all of these things that you're talking about, be prepared and fact check. Let me just look that up quickly.
We just have to be patient with our statements. Mm-hmm. You know, like, there's a lot of things that I'll be thinking about that I don't want to say because I'm not 100% sure that's what's going on. Can be a part of the problem.
No, but you have to be able to talk about things that you remember, then check them up.
No, but you can say that I heard somewhere that this is happening. Well, all right, cool. We can say it like that, but we can't state it like it's actually real. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the shit, all these motherfuckers, look, when I first heard of the internet, I was excited. I saw potential, because I mean, we talked about this earlier about how so few companies are owning the media outlets. You know what I mean? And I saw the internet as an avenue for truth, a way for people to go, kind of go around these media companies and tell you what was really happening. Yeah. And there are some people out there that are honestly trying to give you more information and give you facts. And of course, the media companies are biased, and they, owned by corporations, and they leave out certain information in certain situations. But the average person on the street doesn't have any fucking ethics, which is something I didn't think about. You know what I mean? They say you make sense out of the world how you are. Like, I would not purposely go around spreading false information. I wouldn't go around purposely tricking people. So at first, my first thought when I heard about people having access to sharing information was that they're not going to do that either. But as you can see, based on the world that we live in, this is all it is. Especially with AI and all these things that's coming
All right,
up.
well,
People
this-
are pushing so many things as
This
true
is
and
from
as fucking.
Science, Space, and Technology.
Okay.
Former NOAA scientist confirms colleague manipulated climate records, and this is from February 5.
Okay, so that's one person
2017.
to that, not colleague. Not there was a systematic.
It says,
effort.
this is what it says. Just
Okay.
we'll run it through very quickly
Okay,
because you're right. It's not saying studies. What it's saying here is the U.S. House of Representatives Committee on Science, Space, and Technology members today responded to reports about the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's NOAA 2015 climate change study. According to Dr. John Bates, the recently retired principal scientist at NOAA's National Climate Data Center, the CAR study was used to discredit the notion of global warming hiatus and rushed to time the publication of the paper to influence national and international deliberations on climate policy.
So you see, now it's saying it was a thing that was trying to say that climate change wasn't a thing. That's what that sounded like to me. It was a study refuting climate change.
Here, okay, so I repeatedly asked, what does NOAA have to hide? Now that Dr. Bates has confirmed that there were heated disagreements within NOAA about the quality and transparency of the data before publication, we know why NOAA fought transparency and oversight at every turn.
Go back. What was his? What was the impact of his study? Did it go against, like after the data was fudged? Did he fudge the data to go against the trends or the ideas of climate change?
He says,
Or did he go to
what it says here,
further
in the
that?
summer of 2015, whistleblowers alerted the committee that the CAR study was rushed to publication before underlying data issues were resolved to help influence public debate about the so-called Clean Power Plan and upcoming Paris Climate Conference.
But
Which
what
means
was the
that
first,
the
what was
data-
the first statement though? Where was the starting? What was the first thing that you read? Was that the first sentence?
This is when it comes in. It says I thank Dr. John Bates for courageously stepping forward to tell the truth about NOAA's senior officials playing fast and loose with the data in order to meet a politically predetermined conclusion. That's what this is stemming down to.
Playing fast and loose.
What he's saying is why he came forward is because the data didn't support. They hadn't fact-checked the data that was in the report that they released. His point was that the data in that report wasn't confirmed, but they used it to claim that it was.
Okay.
And this is where
to support climate change, or to argue
support
against.
that climate change exists and is a real thing based on the data that they had. But what he's saying is they fudged the data.
Well, it didn't say fudge. They just
Okay,
didn't.
they didn't verify the data.
Exactly.
You fucking nitpicker.
But these words are important.
Fine, but okay, his point is they didn't verify the data and they used this study to affect political change.
But it doesn't necessarily mean the data is wrong.
No, that was what they came to the conclusion was the data wasn't correct.
Wasn't correct?
Wasn't correct.
Okay.
They had
So what does this prove? now?
prematurely released this.
So we're not going to blow up from heat? It's not going to get too hot on the
No,
planet?
again, why aren't you listening?
I'm asking you a question.
They are putting forth data that isn't 100% supported, which means that even though climate change is existing, it's not been proven to follow the data sets that they said.
Yeah.
It's not saying it didn't, but they fudged the data to make it look worse than it was, is my point, which is fudging the data. It's not saying that this data is 100% disproving climate change. It's not, but they are manipulating the data to show something that they couldn't verify with the data sets that were.
And now we're having a conversation about climate change.
I'm not saying climate change is wrong.
I didn't say you were
right,
saying that.
sorry.
We are having a conversation. Now we're having a conversation about climate change. And based on all the other stuff that's happened before, I mean, people have been taking the ice core samples in the Arctic since like the 60s and 70s, maybe even before that. So all this data and all the rest of these things added up. And one situation, one organization was sloppy with their data, and then all of a sudden it becomes a point of contention.
Yeah.
And this is what the problem is. Like, we're not trained statisticians, most human beings. We don't know how to read these studies. We don't know how to interpret this data. So I think the safest way for us to do is to go with the general consensus. You know what I mean? If it's 40-60, the 40% is probably headed somewhere. 30-70, even the 30%. Anywhere below 20%, I'm skeptical.
Well, I understand, but this is where we differ, because I like following the data, the numbers, and looking at where it actually leads, regardless if it follows the common narrative or not.
Yes, but in some situations, when you don't have time to actually go through, the major studies or each study that's out there and decide for yourself, then it's probably most efficient to go with the data, to go with the information that's out there, to go with the known variables that you've been working with for years.
This is why when you look into the whistleblower community and WikiLeaks and all of the shit that comes forth, it's unfortunately clear that a lot more behind the scenes manipulation of real life situations is occurring to hinder people from actually getting the full picture of what is going on.
Give me an example. Hit me. I want to know something new. What were they lying to me about that I really don't understand? Brand new topic, live and direct, exclusive on Duncan on Donnie. What you got?
I mean, you can just point out anything in regards to the wars that have been committed over the last fucking 50 years, connecting to the world banks and the few countries that didn't have a world bank, which subsequently are the countries that have been attacked. Venezuela, Iraq, Iran.
Ukraine?
Not Ukraine. I'm talking, so Russia has its own subset of places it's attacked. What I'm talking about is more a Western influenced, America-based course of action with the countries that went against the petrodollar and that also didn't want the Rothschild-backed world banks.
Are the Rothschilds really that bad? Are they a thing?
They're
really?
a thing. They're the ones who behind the Balfour Declaration. If you look into the history of the Rothschilds, depends on what you decide is bad. They're the ones who created.
Aren't they Jewish?
They happen to be, yeah.
Okay. I'm just asking questions.
And they happen to be Jewish, yeah, but they're also documented the people who created the World Bank. And the World Bank and all of the Federal Reserve, all of these companies are privately owned companies that have effect on global dominance of economies that should be set and held by the individual countries, but it's not, because it's geared by world banks who are private entities who have a lot more control. I saw there was some factor, here's another graphic, but there's some reason for that, why it's better to have it in that system the way it is. Has something to do with like inflation and independence and blah, blah, blah. Y'all can read the graphic. Yeah, but this is the thing. The way that economics works right now, it's based off of nothing, thin air. We're printing money out of thin air.
It's based off of thought. It's based off of trust.
Off of belief that the system works.
Exactly.
But what is proven
that's why I'm so blown away that anyone could want to introduce cryptocurrency into the world.
This is again part of the system that I'm trying to explain to you. So this only works because they set into effect a very complicated system only understood by bankers. And if you ask any economist what is driving economy, they will say it's based off of nothing, thin air. It doesn't exist. Before it was based
off of trust. It's based off of faith.
Yeah, but
it's based off of people's
difference is before it wasn't based off of trust. It was based off of gold and silver.
It's not so great.
I'm not saying it was great, but the issue is back then when it was currency backed by gold.
It should be based off of food.
Well, the thing is, you couldn't print or create more money than you could back it with resources. And that was, when you're talking about inflation and such, that is what held the economies in a state where you couldn't make more than what actually existed.
Exactly.
Now, with the world banks and all of their scheming little shit, with all of the ways that they have incorporated their ideas, you don't have to follow those rules anymore. Yep. And the World Bank is one part of this system. And this is not conspiracy. They've done it out in the open. This is very much documented.
Yeah. This fiat money system, I mean, it's gotten us to a certain place, but now I think it's time for us to move on.
Because this is the thing, while we have to give them credence where credit is deserved, what has happened because of this system is the mere fact that you have been able to buy more things. Society has been able to reach levels that it previously didn't.
You didn't have to dig out the dirt.
But the thing is, this system is only was by design supposed to hold for roughly around 100 years.
That's where we are now.
That's where we are at right now, which is why, if you asked about the cryptocurrency,
it's falling apart.
That is the next step in their equations.
Yes, but now that we're on it. If all, especially like an American dollar, let's just use American dollar, for example. If the American dollar is based, or the value of it is based on what people all around the world, other countries, or the world leaders and stuff, think it's worth. Like the value isn't based on GDP, it isn't based on gold, it isn't based on anything. It's based on the fact that people think that America will be a successful country in the future. That's why the money is worth anything. Where does crypto get its value from? It's completely based on belief. It's not based on any promise by anything. It's just, I think that this one will go further, or we'll use more of this in the future.
They are getting very complicated because now the stable coins and the move towards crypto, specifically in the United States, is that each stable coin needs to be backed by US dollar.
But what I'm asking you now is it backed by anything now? No.
I mean, it's on the blockchain. So, no, this is the thing. Cryptocurrency, unfortunately, people, is the greatest scam out there.
That's what I was waiting for. Because I don't understand how any thinking person can think it's worth anything.
Again, it's only meant to take money from the people and put it in the pockets and the hands of those who already control a massive amount.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get away from crypto. If you're a thinking person, stay the fuck away from crypto.
I believe, not double check infographic, I believe that Switzerland now refused to remove cash, which is a great thing, because if they refuse to remove cash, then you cannot move the entire world onto a digital currency.
I think it's stupid to fucking get rid of cash.
You're not alone. And the funny thing is, now in Sweden, when they pretty much are trying to remove cash, now when all of these conflicts are happening, now the Swedish government have come out and said, well, by the way, we know we try to have you not use cash, but you need to have cash now.
Exactly.
Because anything could happen. All of these EMP bullshit things, all of these blackouts happening, all of a sudden you find yourself without a possibility of paying anything. So now they're like, oh, well, we didn't really want to acknowledge that cash is king, but can you please have some cash?
At least you have some physical representation of what you're worth.
I have been against, 100%. And you're not wrong, but the problem is the powers that be globally, which is a lot of different countries talking to each other, everything from the Bilderberg Group and all of these behind the scenes existing organizations that know things that we aren't privy to, have decided to move towards. And this is like what's happening with the digital IDs that people are getting pissed off of everywhere. That, I don't know if you saw what happened in, I believe it was Vietnam.
What happened there?
They put in, I believe, the digital ID, and people who didn't want to conform or get it, they had all of their bank accounts and assets taken from them.
Taken? Jesus.
Removed. It's the same thing in Australia. It's even worse because there's clear shown cause and effect of this system in place, that because politicians who've gone out and gone against the narrative, as you would have it, have also had their assets just removed from them. If you go against the...
You know what? That chain is touching that microphone. It's probably creating a lot of noise. You should probably move it. Your chain is rubbing against the mic.
Yeah. I didn't notice it rubbing against no mic.
I can see it from here.
You're touching my mic chain?
There's another chain on there too.
How you doing?
It's gonna be scraping.
Dare touch my chain.
Yeah. There we go. Hope y'all wasn't suffering through too much, because I can imagine Anyhow.
I refuse to acknowledge until we hear it on...
Exactly. Keep going. Crypto, bad.
Well, any which way. Well, yeah, when you have a purely digital system, then the powers that be are...
They have complete control.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that I thought when when I heard of people like when they were trying to get rid of cash, I instantly saw the danger, because for one, everything that you do, there's a trail. You know what I'm saying? If you have a wife, for example, and you decide to go buy condoms, and you and your wife aren't using condoms, then you know that information's out there somewhere. You know what I mean? If you go to a doctor to get a STD check or whatever, everything that you do is there's a digital trail behind it, and I think that's very unsafe for
leading
society.
back to what we were talking about the whistleblowers being a key component. Like the biggest whistleblower in the world, who's still in hiding, Snowden.
Yeah, probably.
Because of him, we now know the massive, not even initial, the largest at that point known surveillance maneuver by the intelligence community.
Yeah.
Now that I was talking about before, Palantir is even worse, because now they're not even hiding it.
Yeah.
And at that point, like when Snowden came out, it was even funnier, because I remember in Sweden we had FRA-lagen, which was even worse, because they also out in the open said that this is what we're doing.
I remember there was a front page, because Obama visited Sweden during that time. And there was this big headline. Why didn't, what was his name? Reinfeldt. Why didn't Reinfeldt ask the tough questions? I'm like, what tough questions? Everything that's supposedly illegal, that was controversial in America, is completely legal here in Sweden. It's not a fucking tough question at all.
No, I know when, was it Beatrice Ask, the then Minister of Justice? I believe it was her, I don't remember, but one of the Minister of Justice back then, when asked by a journalist about, are you actually surveilling the entire country? Her answer was, yes, we are. You better get used to it. We're not going to stop.
Wow.
Like,
these people are bold. But the funny thing is, the reason why this is a thing where it's very easy for the average person to give up their rights, because they don't understand. Let me explain.
Yeah.
When the whole thing happened, I was having a conversation with my daughter's mom, and I said to her, I was like, look, this is a danger to democracy. She was like, well, I don't really have anything to hide, so it's okay. I'm like, that is exactly the wrong way to think about this. Mm-hmm. Because right now you don't have anything to hide. Right now, there's no tyranny. Let's just go that far. Right now, there's no tyranny. A year from now, a month from now, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, when the system changes, you already have all those tools available. The government already has that information collected on you. Cool. What happens when your political views or your sexuality or your color or whatever it is happens to be the thing that's being persecuted at that time?
This is exactly what's happening in the United States right now. Antifa, anybody who speaks out against Christian values or any form of established Trump ideas is now labeled a domestic terrorist.
There you go.
And I believe, I don't remember if they're including the trans community or something along those lines, but things that are considered...
Like trans people automatically domestic terrorists?
Something towards that effect. Don't quote me on that.
You don't know who you are. You're not American. You must die now.
Well, I know a bunch of trans people, and I've been very worried for them. Like, I already left the United States because I wasn't feeling that it was a place that I wanted to continue living in, with the situation growing even more... I don't even know how to use the words.
Unstable, evil, unreliable,
evil,
disgusting, ugly.
Yeah, I mean, when you're using very light words to describe a situation that can only be referred to as demonic and diabolical. Not in the diabolical sense of the internet now, but straight heinous.
I mean, this is what happened. I mean, when you look at the behavior of this orange monster, I don't understand. Sorry, I do understand. Because this person is like the worst Americans. He is inspirational, instead of aspirational. You know what I mean? You look at him and you're like, oh, he's just like me. He doesn't use all those big words. He doesn't know all those big words. Like we said, like the graphics always say, the average American reads at a 6th grade level.
Which is horrifying.
You know what I mean? And then you have this person who obviously has the mental and emotional maturity of someone who's 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. So they see themselves in him. Mm-hmm. He represents them. I mean, a person like Barack Obama, as imperfect as he was, the way he carried himself, his intellect was something to aspire to. It's something you would tell your children, that's something you want to be like. You know what I mean? Or you see him, you're like, oh wow, I wish I would have so I could be. You know what I mean? But Trump, he's like, I don't got to change nothing. He's exactly like me. Which most people don't realize, they would be terrible presidents. I would probably not be a good president. I can maybe convince myself of that, but when it comes down to it, I don't know, which flaw do I think that would make me a bad president? I don't want people to die. Like, I think that if I was running a country and there was, especially like war, like accidents and stuff like that, diseases, you're never gonna be able to stop completely. But if I was to send a young man or woman to their death unnecessarily, I wouldn't be able to live with that. And as president, sometimes maybe you have to do that shit. I don't know. And I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, I was just looking this up, but certain people like Netanyahu and other people have no problems doing that, and a lot
they don't
of the
care.
people
They don't see people as equals.
My point was going to be that a lot of people who strive for these positions are definitely not the people who should be in them.
Exactly. And that's the fucking vicious circle that it all leads to. Because if you're a cool person, you don't want to tell people what to do, but you're a cool person, you probably should be telling people what to do. If you're a shitty person, you always want to tell people what to do, but you're a shit person, so everything ends up being shit. You know what I'm saying? The cool people aren't the ones that want to be president and prime ministers and things like that. They want everything to flow smoothly. They want to pay their taxes, elect people to go out there and represent them. That's going to do cool shit. That's not going to go out and start wars. That's not going to go out and rape children. That's not going to go out and destroy the world. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be doing this show. You know what I mean? I don't want to be sitting here talking about Donald Trump. Like, I get so much anxiety sometimes just thinking about, fuck, I'm going to have to do this. But I feel like it has to be done. You know what I mean? I feel like whatever platform you have, whatever following you have, if you're a thinking, like, sane person, you have to speak out against the shit that's happening.
Yeah, well, that's another reason I'm also doing it, because I remind myself of they came for, you remember, they came.
Exactly.
First they came for,
yeah,
I remember.
It's a priest from Germany.
Yeah.
First they came for the socialist, and I wasn't me, so I didn't say nothing. Then they came for me at the end, he says, and then
there was nobody left to speak up for me.
Like, as soon as you see these things happening, as soon as you see these trends, I mean, because it doesn't stop there, you know what I mean? I had a conversation recently, well, not a conversation, a back and forth on social media with these Latino women. I commented under a post about the Swedish Democrats wanting to get rid of or make it illegal for women to wear burqas in public in Sweden.
I'm not gonna like this then.
And a Latina woman was supporting that. To me, I thought that was, like, first of all, why are they pushing to get rid of this from the society?
You're not gonna like this.
Let's take a pause.
I believe, we have to look up the countries, but I believe it's more than 4 countries in Europe who now have made the full burqa, niqab, or whatever it's called, illegal to wear out in public places. You can wear them when you're praying or when you're indoors, but when you're outdoors, you're not allowed to have them anymore. Okay. I don't remember exactly their reasoning for it, but they believe that a lot of people, women, are forced into these situations.
But that's not your decision to make. That's a religious decision. Those people can choose to leave that religion.
that is what they are claiming. They have been witnessed enough of that they can't. So they also don't want. They're like, if you want to do that, go back to your country. So
That's bullshit. We live.
Doesn't matter if it's bullshit. This is what's actually.
It doesn't matter if it's bullshit.
happening,
We
but this
live
is
in a
what
world
is
where we have to
happening.
stand on principles, and we can't.
That's
This is bro,
exactly what they're saying. That's their reasoning for it. They want to stand on principles, so that's what they.
principle? We are supposed to be an accepting society. We are supposed to be the modern ones. We are supposed to be the ones that are open-minded. We're
But
supposed to be the ones that
that-
allow people to live their lives to the fullest.
That's what they claim they're using. That's the reasoning for them saying we have to let people be able to be free. And
I
they're
think that religion is shit. I
know
think that
that.
it's stupid to wear a hijab. I think it's stupid to wear a burqa. I think that it's all that stuff. But it's not my place to force that person to stop wearing it. If they want to have that belief, they want to have that. I want to have a society where you can wear that if you want to. And if there's a woman that says, hey, my husband's forcing me, you go to the fucking police. Go to the imam. Go somewhere where you can
Yeah,
have
but
help for that. You can't just automatically say you have to get rid of that
but
from
you're
your religion.
simplifying a problem that
It is that simple.
No, but this is what a lot. You also have to remember that a lot of people working with this have seen the other side of it, where all of this
Don't just
violence.
say a lot of people. You give me numbers. Don't you say a lot of people?
My
That's like,
sister has worked with that as a
Okay.
lawyer,
Okay.
and there's documented numbers of a lot of women.
I need those numbers. If it's 1%, if it's 2%, if it's 100%.
I don't know that because
that's
all I know
important.
that these things exist.
Of
I
course,
don't have the
people
exact
get murdered,
numbers.
people get raped, people fucking
And-
rape their children. All these things happen. Doesn't mean people aren't gonna have children anymore.
No, but this is what you have to understand. These occurrences have been so many that people have. If you
Why
want,
haven't I heard about it? What do you mean so many?
You don't look at it.
It's not.
You
but
have to
hold on a
understand
second.
that we've been talking
If it was
about
that
this.
much of a fucking epidemic in European countries, that 4 European countries have to be like, you know what, we're gonna make this illegal, I would have heard about this.
Clearly
You know
not,
what I mean?
since this is what you're surprised it's
No,
happening
because
in
it's
Sweden.
racism. That's why. Because it's not a problem of it. If there was a problem of it, I would have heard of it. People who are paying attention to what's happening in society would have heard about this. But they choose 1, 2, 3 small instances, which are terrible. I'm not saying that people should be killed or treated badly or forced to wear these things. But you can't just use those few instances to be like to excuse your racism. To excuse your
we are gonna look up the numbers and have them posted here.
which I can almost guarantee you that these are not at epidemic levels. These are not at levels where laws need to be changed.
But again, when we did look at it from a criminal standpoint, I don't know if it was the last show or not, but it shows clearly, specifically in Sweden, there is a. I didn't believe this because I thought that the numbers were inflated or not based in reality. But when you start looking at the numbers of criminality, there's an overrepresentation among people who have immigrant backgrounds.
Yes, because crime is a socioeconomic
I'm
situation.
not arguing about that. But
If you look at the amount of Swedes who are poor or who grew up in broken families compared to the amount of immigrants that are in those situations, I'm sure the numbers are somewhat equal or somewhat around the same.
I thought I showed you the numbers.
We went through the numbers, and what the point we were trying to make was that Swedish people are unreasonably afraid for themselves out in public because these situations aren't happening to them. You were saying that people are, but these people are afraid of these bombings, blah, blah, blah. And my point was, they aren't the ones that are being affected. And that's what the numbers show. The numbers show that most people that are affected by gang violence, by, if you want to call it that, the violence in the immigrant communities, are other immigrants. Not these Swedish people, not the people who are actually complaining about it. They're using these as excuses to boost their racist ass ideas. If there was an epidemic of women getting whatever it is, forced or breaking out of their thing, and it was like 20%, 30 again, over that 20%, over that 30% of people that's like, yo, I don't want to be doing this, but I'm being forced to do it, then yes, it's time for the government to step in. Even if it's 15%, 10%, even if the government, then it's time for the government to step in. But that's not where we're at.
We don't know that because we haven't looked at the numbers. You're guessing right now.
Yes, I'm guessing right now because I know how fucking racist people are.
Not arguing about that because that's one of the reasons that we are doing this podcast to combat racism. But the fact of the matter is we need to actually look at these numbers, and if they come up with at some point.
So what number are we saying? I would say, for me, okay, it's time for the government to step in if 20%, if let's say 12%, even lower than that, if 12% of Muslim women who wear what's it called, the burqa, burqa,
the niqab, I think it is, or whatever, the full thing, because there's there's multiple differences. There's just the shawl, then there's the face covering, and then there's the one that only shows your eyes.
Exactly.
And I think it's the one that is completely from head to toe that they're trying to remove.
In America, in particular, it says the government shall pass no law promoting or restricting, I'm paraphrasing now, people's rights to their religion. This is why you could not make a decision like that in America. I know that Sweden is different, the constitution is different, the rules or the rights of what the government can and cannot do is different, but I think this is an overreach. And not only is it an overreach, but it's a specific overreach to oppress a particular part of the population. It's a thing to say that you people are not welcome, especially in the environment, in the climate that we're living in.
They're already oppressing them with wars and bombings and all this other shit.
And on top of that, when they do run away from this oppression that these people are already profiting from and come to these so-called safer countries, they get treated like second-class citizens. Because it's not your fucking place to tell me that I cannot worship this idiocy that I worship. You know what I mean? I can tell you that it's idiocy, but I ain't passing no laws. I'm not going to abuse what power I have to make sure that you can't practice your religion the way that you want to. Maybe that's why I'd be a shitty president, because I wouldn't make that decision. Well, even though I don't believe it. Well, even though I do not believe in religion, I think that religion is an hindrance to our development. The
sad part of this is you're basing this off of, yes, it is racist, and you're basing this off of your opinion. But the sad part of it is a majority of the people do not agree with you.
Majority of what people?
In Sweden specifically, since Sweden is Democrats.
The majority of people are voting to get rid of the burqa? No.
I don't know. They're voting.
It's Swedish Democrats.
But Swedish Democrats, outside of Socialdemokraterna, Sweden Democrats are the largest party in Sweden.
Because people are misguided. You see what I'm saying? And they're doing things like, not to be specifically picking on you right now, but just they are using these instances of dysfunction, of problems within society, which is problems that every society has, because every society has social and economic imbalances and injustices happening. So whenever you see the results of that, all these people are turning the results of the deficiencies in society to say that this is why society is fucked up. And that's backwards. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
I know. I'm not arguing with you.
If I see a certain part of the population...
I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah.
You're arguing with me. I'm saying that I'm putting forth.
It takes two to tango, mother.
No, I'm telling you that this is what the people...
What people? Don't say the people, because it's not law now.
A lot of people...
They don't say a lot of people either.
There's
some people say some people. Some
wave,
idiots. Exactly.
That's not some, motherfucker. That's a lot of people.
Because people are lazy. They look for easy answers. They don't look deeper into the subject.
This is how Trump got into power.
And this is why the Swedish Democrats have fucking 20% of the vote or whatever it is. Because people don't dig deeper. They want to find easy answers. That's why Hitler became goddamn Hitler. Because he pointed a finger at the Jews and everyone was like, oh yeah, quick solution. Let's fucking kill the Jews.
I don't want to
Now in Europe, it's the Muslims. I saw some idiot the other day post. What does he say? Immigration, don't look up anything right now. It's hard for me to focus while you're not paying attention. But his statement was, immigration without assimilation is invasion. Mm-hmm. I get the sentiment, but it's ridiculous. On top of that, what he wrote after I responded to him, Islam is the biggest threat to Europe in decades. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a lot
what
of people
what percentage of the European population is Muslim?
It's larger now than it has been before.
Of course, because
of the displacement
because
from the wars.
How many Muslim countries been attacked? Syria,
that's my point.
Iraq, Afghanistan.
Again, that was my point of the
previous.
And
who they get attacked by? Christians.
Yeah, I know. Christians.
A coalition of, you had Danish people in Afghanistan, you had Swedish people in Afghanistan.
When you look at the numbers, based on that Islam has existed for a shorter time than Christians, they both are on a very equal level of heinous acts being committed. The Christians win now because they've had more time to do it. But as stated, religious fanatics, zealots are the issue, not.
Let me go
not
back to
the
this
wider-
idea that, because this, I don't know how many people, I mean, we talk a lot about the issues or the imbalance or the idiocy that's happening in America, but I think it's also happening here.
100%, that's what
Because
we're
you
doing.
have so many people, like, maybe it's because I moved around so much, but I think it's so sad that people put so much value in their nationality. It's like, what did you do to earn that?
But don't you understand that when you have, somebody said it beautifully, when you have nothing to be proud of, you're proud of your nationality.
That's it.
Yeah.
What did you build that up to? I was in Jamaica, and I also, it's not only a white thing, because I was in Jamaica, I also felt that frustration. You know what I mean? People in Jamaica, they talk so big and so great about Jamaica, and I'm like, yes, that's great. Jamaica is great. But you have to add to that. You have to fucking be a good person. You have to be a good sprinter. You have to be a good musician. You have to be something to add to that. You can't just say, oh, Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, I'm done. That's bullshit. What is your contribution? What the fuck are you so proud of? I know one asshole who's a fucking racist, but he's been to prison for tax evasion. Tax evasion is like the smallest part, that your littlest contribution that you can do to society. He can't even do that. But he's, the Muslims, and we're not gonna build any mosque. Motherfucker, it's not your money that's going to build the mosque. You don't pay your taxes. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Trump. America first. When you had the opportunity to pay your taxes to be the person that you were supposed to be, you lied and you cheated. You know what I'm saying? And now you got the right to run the country. Now you're deciding where the money is spent. When it wasn't your money, you wouldn't even put in your share.
He's taken from the American people and given it away to everybody who shouldn't have it. And
do you
he's
mean?
given,
Give it away to people who should
to
have
the
it.
rich.
There you go.
Tax cuts for the rich.
There you go.
He's given the company, oh, you're gonna love this. They just closed down all the national parks. And they're gonna
They're closing down some because they don't have any staff. They cut the
no,
staff.
they fired the staff.
Exactly.
It's not like they don't have staff. They had staff. They
killed
fired them.
exactly.
But this is my point, unfortunately, which you don't know. They're going to give companies the rights to go in
do know
and
that.
drill and frack and remove.
That's the whole point.
Exactly. So my point is, it's clear now that Donald Trump never cared about the American people. He could have paid for healthcare over and over and over again, but instead he's now taking $200 billion.
What blows my mind is that anyone at any point would think that he did.
Con man con. That is what con men do. And he is good at grifting.
He's not good at it.
He's good at bankrupting things, but you cannot say he's not good at grifting, because that's
He's
the
not,
reason
because, look-
he has managed to keep himself afloat out of jail
Yes.
and be a fucking multi whatever the fuck amount of
Billionaire,
money. Yeah.
who is
so he
also
is
one of the most
great
powerful
at
people in the whole
grifting.
world.
He is not good at holding businesses, but grifting is his forte.
I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're right.
No. Now we got another dose minutes for the hora
For the what?
for the 1 hour.
Oh, we're almost at an hour.
We
But
have
I
2
think we need
minutes.
to just go and then cut it down to an hour. Because I think some of the stuff that we talked about before, we're not going to use.
Yeah,
I think we spent too much time on something or the other just now. I don't remember. Plus, I got a little bit too upset. I don't know if I want to show myself being so upset. I don't like to be upset, but this is just so, I get so incredibly frustrated by all of this sometimes. It's like I said, psychiatrists, psychologists, whatever you want to say, they say that you make sense out of the world by how you think. You know what I mean? And yes, I can be open-minded. I can try to understand where other people are coming from. But some things, it's like, are you trying to fuck up things on purpose? Like, how doesn't, like, how does your brain...
When it comes to Trump, 100%, he's trying to fuck things up on purpose.
No, not him. I'm talking about the people that's supporting him.
Oh.
You know what I mean? The people that are backing him. Granted, the racism runs deep, because people will fuck over everybody so that their racist ideas can move forward.
Yeah, but unfortunately with him, it's not just the racist things. It's what I was trying to explain to you before. Money is allocated to places which has not benefited the American populace. So what the American populace did was rage against these funding issues, which didn't come down towards the American people wherever they were in the region that they needed
What are we
it.
talking about? In from before or no?
No, like this happens all the time. So the
You're talking about this
Well, one
illusion
specific-
of about killing the middle class? Because that's what people keep saying. The Democrats killed the middle class. Democrats killed
well,
the middle
the
class.
middle class now is what we used to refer to as the upper class. That has now become the middle class.
Because people are so goddamn rich.
The top rich people have been so rich. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what we're talking about. I was going to say something very verifiable, and it is the amount of funds in the United States that were allocated towards what is referred to as illegal immigrants. And that is one of the use cases people used to vote for Trump, because they were like, we haven't gotten any of the resources we need in our community for our
And the
welfare.
illegal immigrants were the problem, not the healthcare organizations.
That's what's coming. Luigi
Not the
Mangione
wars.
came up, well, made that very apparent that, yeah, the entire system is fucked. So, but
This is what I'm saying. Why does anyone fall for this idiocy? It's like, hey,
this is
wait, hold on a second.
demagoguery.
There's a
101.
war happening over here. These people are literally running for their lives. They get a break. These motherfuckers are sitting up here in these skyscrapers with these yachts and these mansions and these everything that life has to offer. They're not the problem. These immigrants running across the border, these guys that's running from bombs getting dropped on their head, they're the ones I got a beef with.
Again, now more so than ever,
We
people
need
are
to check out-
opening up their eyes to the fact that the rich are the problem. I don't know if you noticed the things that happen in the United States now. One dude set a warehouse on fire and he videotaped it, and his classic now reverberating words are, all you had to do was pay us a livable wage. And that has now become a mantra over there, because it's quite clear. There's the same thing with Luigi Mangione, why he shot that motherfucking executive, is that the companies do not have our best interest in mind.
That goes without saying.
So we are at a precipice now
So
where
why these people?
revolutionary
So when these people
ideas-
talk about money that's spent on illegal immigrants, when it comes down to it, I'm sure the amount of money that was spent on, when you talk about illegal immigrants, especially, how much money is spent on legal immigrants?
We'll have to
Illegal
look-
immigrants now.
We'll have to look up that number.
Compared to how much tax breaks and all the rest of these people get. I mean, for example, I got a friend. He's a bit of a Trump supporter. Oh, he is a Trump supporter because he's just not smart enough to know he shouldn't be supporting Trump. Sorry, bro, but I have to
But
let you
I'll
know.
have to tell you one thing then,
Let me-
because
let me-
you
let
have
me-
to understand that this is reality.
Yeah.
Illegal immigrants were given healthcare benefits
Not in every state.
in a lot of states.
Here
This
goes
is
how
again,
many states it was.
Well, I'll have to look that up. But I'm telling you, these are reasons why people.
I get it, but it's not good enough. It's excuses. It's not a reason. It's an excuse. When it comes, like I was about to say before, a friend of mine showed me a clip on YouTube. No context, no nothing. It's just, sorry, not a clip, a picture. What it is a picture of someone that went to Walmart and their bill was $13,000.
$13,000.
$13,000 from Walmart. And my friend was saying that look, this is a illegal immigrant that went shopping at Walmart for $13,000. No context, no nothing. This was just no picture of even the person holding a receipt. Just the receipt and the total at the end of it. I'm like, first and foremost, that is the crappiest fact checking. That is the worst like thing to sway your opinion ever, because there's no context to this. You don't know whose receipt it is or why they even have it. That's the first thing. The second thing is, how much money did Elon Musk, for example, earn after that election?
A lot. He was the biggest.
They claim 230 billion was what I heard.
know, that's-
by the end of January. The election was in November.
I know. That's
You know
why
what I mean?
that he came out and yelled fraud all the while committing fraud.
So when you
was
so when
hilarious.
so when you're looking at this one immigrant who happened to make who happened to spend $13,000 on the food, how many $13,000
But is that
can
even
you
real?
get? Even if it is real, let's just keep it at that's real. How many $13,000 immigrants could you have gotten out of that 230 billion? That's the first thing. I guarantee you there weren't that many immigrants spending that much money to get anywhere close to that.
I'm
You know what I mean?
agreeing with you because
the
again, if you
immigrants-
actually
so when these people say that the reason why they're doing these things, it's not a reason, it's an excuse. You know what I mean? I'm not the richest person in the world. I've never been rich. I'm not gonna be racist either. I'm not gonna, like, for example, when the Romaner first started coming to Sweden, you know, from my house, from my apartment, I should say, to when I got on the subway, I would have to walk past 4 people begging for money, sometimes on their knees in the snow.
they're still out there.
What that made me realize is that hardens the heart of a country. If you have to walk past someone who's literally on their knees in snow every day, simply because you cannot give to this person every day. Especially if you're gonna give, you can't give to 4 people every day. So even if you give to 1 or 2, you still have to walk past 2 people. It closes you down. It shuts down a part of your desire to give. It says, there's so much, you become overwhelmed. I can't give to all 4 people, so you end up giving to no one. And then when the situation comes up and you have to decide, should we let these people, or these people are part of the problem? Automatically, in the back of your head, in the back of your subconscious, that is a part of the issue. The people that I come in contact with the most, who are not from here, are in some ways a burden to this country, or a burden to especially me personally. So then all that stuff starts to fester, and this what leads us to where we are in Sweden in particular, where the values of this country, the values of being liberal, of being open, of being a accepting society, are going down the fucking tubes because these people are so much more concerned about a couple of change here, or the fact that maybe the quality of living will go down in this country by 5 or 10% because schools are going to be a little bit more overcrowded. People are going to be alive. These people, if you allow them to be a part of your society, they will contribute uncountably, unimaginably to your society. Because the idea that someone fights through a war zone, puts themselves on a boat sometimes, go across an ocean, learn a new language, come to a new country, come to a country first and then learn the language, learn a new language, come into a new society. I think that person, if they want to be, has earned the right to call themselves a citizen of that country more than someone who happens to get pushed out of their mama's vagina on a piece of dirt.
Well, you're not going to love the new legislation in Sweden then, because they have decided that based on, I guess, mainly criminal records, I'm not really sure, you can remove somebody's Swedish citizenship now, and you can do it retroactively as well.
You see, this is ridiculous. If I invite you to my home, maybe not a home, because it's always more outside.
Well, we should look up who these people that they're claiming should get this treatment are.
But okay, there is no crime, except for maybe, right? There is no crime that a foreigner or an immigrant has committed in Sweden that a Swedish person has not committed in Sweden. People talk about assimilation. You know what I mean? Oh, they need to come in and assimilate. But they're not, are they starting to levitate? Are they flying? Are they eating drywall? What is it that they're doing that Swedish people don't do? You know what I'm saying? Committing crimes, Swedish people commit crimes. Selling drugs, Swedish people sell drugs. Raping, Swedish people do that too. So the same strategies that you have to stop Swedish people from doing it, just apply it to the people that you let into your country. You committed a crime, we have prisons for that. You go to fucking prison. The way you try to prevent Swedish people from doing crimes, is that you give them opportunities, give them education, give them a security system. You're gonna complain about the fact that people are on welfare, you take away the welfare, don't create any opportunities for them to make money for themselves. They commit crime, not to say that everyone that's doing it is because of that. Of course, there's there's culture and there's all these things that's involved in it. But at the same time, the more opportunities that you give people, the more examples they see people in society that look like them, that are going places in society, the more chances they'll see, okay, that I have other options. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to get shot. No one wants to go to prison. No one wants to get shot. Whether it's psychological or some kind of cultural distractions, you know what I mean? people, all these fucking kids, they want to listen to fucking hip hop and act like they're from O Block and all the rest of the shit. It's not because they're from Syria. It's because the Western world has influences in it that sometimes these kids aren't ready to fucking deal with. You come from a war zone, you've seen death. You come here, everything's safe, but someone says, hey, you do this little bit of killing, your life is set. You're gonna have this much money, that much money. It becomes that much easier for someone to fall victim to that. You're that much closer to that reality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These things are socio-economical. These things are government flaws. If you bring a bunch of people to this country and they end up fucking up, it's your fault. It's like when you have kids. Till the day I die, I'm responsible for my child. Till the day I die. She could be 50 years old. I'm 100 years old. I'm responsible for her. First of all, I brought her into this world. The basis of her understanding, the basis when she was first a child, is because of me. Her stance, her opportunities in life are because of me. It's a reflection of something that I did or didn't do forever.
Well, this is a funny thing that you mentioned that, because now apparently that if somebody commits a crime, they are gonna use that to punish the entire family now.
Where is this? In Sweden?
In Sweden.
That's ridiculous. What the fuck is that about?
I agree with you, but they based it on what you just said, that if you have a child, then you're responsible for that.
No,
child.
but
I think it's bullshit.
Yes,
because
but you are also the government. The government is above that. The government sets the opportunities for the parent. That's what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about when you bring a person into the country as a refugee or do you allow them to stay here, it's like you're taking on the parent role. You know what I mean? So whether it's the child that ends up reflecting something negative that's come from your society or the parent, it's still the government's responsibility. The government was supposed to create a better opportunity or a better situation or provide education or provide role models within the society where this child can see themselves and grow and say, I want to be that, I want to be that. I don't only have to be that or that.
yeah,
You know
but again, societies are failing miserably.
They're weak because these people don't have no principles. They just go up for whatever it is that's going to get them popular. And what usually gets them popular are the lazy ideas. The ones that you can just point a finger and say, that, there, why. That's what's easy. All these complicated things, talking about world economy and how we're going to do this and how we're going to, manage inflation and how we're going to create jobs and all the rest of that stuff. That's not what people want to talk about. They want to find quick solutions. Quick one-hitters, one-liners, headlines that's gonna fucking attract attention and gain them power. And that's why we're in the situation we're in. And we cannot contribute to that. You can't contribute it, I'm not gonna contribute to it.
Yeah, well, I'm not arguing with you about that. Again, society is at fault for a lot of things that they've decided to do right now. And new laws that are coming into place. That they're trying to put
Racist laws based on the fact that SD, which is the racist party, has some power in Sweden, and
they have a lot. Moderaterna just said that if they win the election, they're gonna bring SD into the.
Aren't they already there? But they're already a coalition.
No, what's happening now is they use them as a way to get their votes across, but they're not included in the regering.
Like there are no social Swedish Democrat party members as a part of the government.
Yeah, that's the difference. And
who's the immigration minister? I thought he was SD.
I don't know, but what some Moderaterna said, if they win, they're going to bring them in fully into the
because that's
government.
the deal that they have to make, which is shit. You have to stand on your principles. Back when SD started making a rise, there was a push within the government. People were like, we are not going to take them seriously. Everyone, it's democracy, it's democracy. Oh my God. Yes, it's a democracy. That also gives us the right not to pay attention to these idiots because we know it's idiocy. This idea has been tried and failed. You know what I mean? Are we also going to let the flat earthers in? Are we going to start teaching flat earth in school? Are we going to start teaching creationism in school? Is that what we're going to do too?
They're trying to do that in the States.
Because people in America, as we've concluded, aren't very smart. Mm-hmm. So we're going to bring everything down now. They want to talk about...
They've been trying to dumb down society for a while. Like, I stopped going to university because I proved to the professors there that they were efficiently lying to the entire class by bypassing a lot of what had actually happened in human history. And when I proved it to them, they said that, this is our curriculum. So if you want to change our minds, you have to become a professor yourself. And then once you're a professor, then we'll listen to you. And I was like, I'm going to waste 10 years of my life to prove to you what I already just proved to you.
What you
But
should
you're not
already
going to
know.
listen to me until I get the credentials. So you can go fuck off. Any which way.
It's the world we live in. It's not right.
Yeah, it's not
But it's
right.
okay. I'm going. All right, no singing. All right, so yeah, I think we're about at an hour and some change now. I think we can call this one a wrap. Anything specific you want to talk about?
We missed talking about a lot of shit that happened with Dum Dum Donnie. I mean,
I think that
what happened now with the blockade and what's happening with the peace talks that fell through, what's happening with Israel. Well, good thing that's happening is, it was a bad thing that happened, but Israel murdered. No, but this is how stupid and how funny this is. Not until Israel murdered some peacekeepers, UN peacekeepers.
UN peacekeepers.
Huh?
UN peacekeepers, where are they at?
In Lebanon.
Okay.
A tank blew them up. So once this happened, now 70 countries in the UN came out against Israel. But before that, when there was
they white peacekeepers?
No, they weren't actually.
Where's they from?
I don't remember exactly. I believe there might have been Asian. But regardless, not until the peacekeepers got murked did anybody choose to speak out against the atrocities that Israel are committing.
All lives aren't equally valued.
Then, yeah, all right. We're going to end this off with a little rap that I wrote about this.
You are gonna no rapping on the podcast.
Why not?
Save it for when it's time.
God, he's so fat. For being so skinny, you're pretty fat.
I'm grown. I'm the straight guy. You're the loose guy.
All right.
I'm the one that keeps everything straight. But we're gonna
No
have
rapping for you.
We're gonna have a specific video made for Zen Zero doing his music, doing his rap, so everything will be all structured and beautiful and the way it should be. Not this low level stuff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay tuned for that.
All right, you stay tuned for that.
This has been another episode of
Dunking on Donnie.
Chai Style.
Zen Zero. All right,
And we out.